My husband wants to be referred to as Skeletor. No, just kidding.
Grayskull. I love it.
The power.
I should start doing that. You know, he would love it. He's always trying to get the kids to say their names are Skeletor for their drinks, you know, when we go out somewhere. It's but nobody's ever yelled out Skeletor yet.
Love that. Come on. Doesn't get any better than that.
Sure
I love
does.
that reference. Love the He-Man reference.
Yes.
Best
We're
cartoons
big nerds
ever.
over here.
All the 80s cartoons.
Yeah.
Yay, music cartoons. I'm right along with you. And dancing, of course, right? I certainly have to get myself to New York to go to this place.
You missed an epic dance party in Brooklyn. I got light up earrings. Oh my God, Tennette, they were so fun. Yeah, they
Tennette,
changed color.
My invitation got lost in the mail too, so it's like
She lives in Atlanta. Don't let her fool you.
I would fly up for something cool like that. You know that.
Anytime, girlfriend, but I can't go to the next one in June because I have work. So
You have life.
Bummer.
Life be life.
I know. But I think life be lifing. That's what we say here, Tennette.
I love that.
So
All
in
right.
the essence of this episode, we're going to be talking about the things like vulnerability and storytelling, which we all have stories to share.
Right.
And without further ado, we'll just go ahead and kick off the podcast. So
Awesome.
everyone, welcome to the Then When podcast. I am your host, Serina, and
Mary, welcome. And today we have someone very special joining us today. My new friend, Tennette. Welcome. Thank you so
for
much.
having me.
Yes. Thank you so much for being on our podcast. We're so excited to have you here. Should I tell a quick story of how we met?
yes,
Love
yes.
that.
Okay.
To share.
This is so me too. Serena's going to laugh because
I
this
was
is kind of like who we are.
Let's reel back to all episodes and be like, undertone, Mary is not a stranger to anyone. So
I know.
and here's how.
I'll just talk to anyone. My family's always like, stop talking to people. No, so I went to an author's lecture in town. And afterwards, oh my gosh, I so hope to have her on the podcast tonight. Dr. Lisa Miller, she wrote The Awakened Brain, and she is so fantastic.
Link in show notes.
Link in show notes for sure. And we were waiting online to meet her, and I was by myself, and Tennette was there with a friend, and they were standing in front of me in line, and they were just, I don't know, you know, when someone is just all of a sudden highlighted for you like that, just their friendship was so beautiful. And it reminded me of like me and Serina and my other friends that I'm really close with like that. And you guys were having so much fun. And then like me, I just chimed in on something that you said, not that I was listening to you, but you know, something like stands out. And it's kind of like the universe way of like, are you going to engage in this or not? Right.
There's your invitation, right? Like you just got
yes. And so I said something maybe about music, right? Or the dance party.
Because they had great music playing.
Yes. Oh my God. You loved that music. I loved watching you love that music. It was good. You were really into that playlist.
Totally was dancing away.
Was it any particular song or was it just a good vibe?
It was great 80s music, and I'm all about the 80s music. So I was kind of rocking it out in line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like getting your 80s dance moves on. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And and it was so much fun. Turns out I knew Tennette's friend, but not by face, just by speaking to her on the phone. And so we had that in common, and I don't know, we just clicked, and something about you, Tennette, I was like, I got to have her on the podcast. This is awesome.
She caught your
so
aura,
welcome.
Tennette.
Thank you so much. And I am so grateful that you said hello and we got the chance to meet one another, because it was just really lovely spending time with you, and it really made the time go by quickly.
I know, that was a long line. I think
was
we
a
were the
long
last.
We were.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like it because we had so much fun.
Yeah, we did. It was really fun. I invited them to my Brooklyn dance party. I'm gonna start
Okay.
calling them intentional rave experiences.
Love that.
It's
IRE, ire? That's like angry.
ooh, I don't.
Let's figure
Why
out
did you
something
gotta
else.
bring that to my attention, Serena?
IRX.
Damn.
Let's go to IRX because
Oh,
you
X
know.
for experience because we're
Yeah.
young and cool.
That's
Okay.
that's what I'm saying.
We'll go with that.
All right,
We'll
cool.
stick with
Thanks.
that.
Yeah, so like of course I knew these people for like maybe a half an hour. I was like, "Oh, you or maybe 10 minutes." I was like, "Oh, you guys should come dancing with me. I'll drive."
In reality, it was 25 seconds, but no one's counting.
I wonder how people feel end of the receiving like on the receiving end of that where they're like, "Is this person is a total weirdo or like is she going to kidnap me?
Is
What
she
kind
going to
of
steal my kidneys?
warehouse in
Yeah.
Brooklyn are we going to?"
No,
So
I
I,
felt the same connection, so
Oh,
it's
good. I'm
all
glad.
good.
Good.
but I want to point out something though, Mary, that you had said. You
Mhm.
said you were there by yourself. You went out on your own little excursion. And I mean, a lot of times, and this is nothing to say that for taking a friend with you, that is an exciting, exhilarating, and also in itself a vulnerable moment because you're sitting
Yes.
there. You don't have anybody to kind of distract you and you're not looking at the phone, but you're actually noticing, which is another
Mhm.
thing we talk about is all of the other energy that surrounds you. And so stepping into that and also kind of to get us to what our first point we want to talk to Tannette about that you raised is that vulnerability and then
Yes.
stepping bravely into making a connection with someone.
Yeah.
So that I wanted to just kind of give you some props over here essentially because I want you to know that you might take that for granted or you might not see that as a big thing, but
Yeah.
in reality that is a big thing. So, and
Totally. Well, a
Very
full
brave.
disclosure, thank you. I did go with my friend Sarah, who we had on the podcast, but then she had to leave. To your point, I could have easily been like, you know what, me
left too.
too.
Yeah.
But something happened when she was like, oh, I have to go. And I felt this pull to stay. And there was the guy selling the book from the local bookshop in town. I love that place.
Yes.
And I just felt the need to like buy a book and get in line and all that stuff. And so stuff like that happens to me though. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like sometimes I'm meant to be somewhere. I'm meant to chat with these people.
Yes.
We're meant to make that connection, if it's for a moment or, much longer than that, whatever it is.
Mhm.
So it's kind of nice. And I had that feeling. And yeah, like you said, I got on that line and I was by myself. I could have totally zoned out on my phone, which sometimes, I do. And maybe I need in that moment. But this time I was trying to be really present. And so I
And
happened
it
upon Tannette and Lisa, or
I kn
Lauren.
Lauren.
Lauren, hello.
and look what like a valuable like connection that you've made. So with that,
Totally.
Tannette, I want to invite
Absolutely.
you to kind of step a little bit forward and share your vulnerability, at least in the first sense of just giving us a little bit of background of who you are, what interests you, all of those kinds of things that brought you to even that moment, essentially.
Absolutely. So I am a mother, I am a storyteller, I am a wife, I am a professional, right? And I think we are all these things, and sometimes we forget that we are a human, that we are a person. And as
Hmm.
my kids started to get older and they started adulting, I realized that I didn't have anything of my own really anymore. It was all about being, something to someone else. And I was kind of trying to figure out what it is that I liked at this point, at this stage in my life, what I wanted to do when I grow up. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never
I'm
grow
like,
up, Tannette. Never.
right?
It's a trap.
Never.
Exactly, right? It is a trap.
Right.
And I'm like, but what am I good at? Right. And so that was the tough part, like figuring out like what you're good at. And I'm like, the one thing I know I'm good at and people will attest to is talking. And I will talk your ear off if you let me.
Well,
You're in the
this is
So
right
a
place.
podcast, so you're in the
Totally in the
right
right
place.
place.
So then, right? And so then it's like, how do I turn that into something, right? Like, okay, I can talk. So one of my dear friends, Jane, was like, she and I were talking about different, like, we are kind of spitballing, brainstorming, and we came up with maybe trying like voice acting. And she was like my biggest like advocate. And though it was like I'm like, oh, this is so great, and I love to talk. I also have difficulty with talking in front of people, like getting up in front of people, like that feels very vulnerable for me. Um, I don't do the limelight very well. I'm not a person that likes to be in pictures and on podcasts and being seen, you know?
Clocking you
Um,
right now,
Aw.
Tennette. How you
ex-
feeling? How we
ex-
feeling in our body right
I'm
now?
doing okay, thanks.
Yay! We're
Aw, you got
big
this.
hugs over here. We're holding you. We're holding the
Thank
space and
you.
container for you. Yeah.
Thank you. But I'm the
Uh-huh.
girl in the picture that usually has the baseball cap over my eyes, where I'm like hiding to
Mhm.
you, in the corner where you see like one of my eyes. So it was really a big thing for me. And I'm like, well, with voice acting, this would be great because no one sees you. Like this is
Yeah.
perfect. So again, with my good friend kind of backing me, I decided I'm going to go for it. So I started taking classes, and then I ended up working on my actual demo tape. And a friend of mine had a
Okay.
really close professional friend who did me a wonderful courtesy of listening to the tape. And he was so wonderful. And he's like, I'm going to be really honest, just so that you know. And so after he listened to the demo, he was like, my recommendation would be that you take my classes.
Well, I mean, that candid feedback is really essential because you can't be
Yes,
sent out just doing the thing and everybody's like emperor's new clothes kind of thing going, it's great, it's
exactly.
wonderful,
Mhm.
Exactly.
So,
I wasn't ready, and
yeah.
Yeah.
that's okay. But it's a journey, right? And this journey led to something else. So in the interim, a very dear friend and family member, Dawn, reached out to me, and she asked me like, "What do you want to do with voiceover? Like, what do you want to get into animation?" And she was really kind of helping me get an understanding of where I wanted to be. And I thought I wanted to audiobooks. Same thing. I don't have to be in front
Ooh.
of a camera, and I can
Yeah.
do my thing in the background. And so she, very similar to you, Miss Mary, Miss Serena, where she just kind of has her finger on the pulse, and she has this really great business that she has, Playful Campus, where she uses play and well-being, going to different events and environments. So she really helped me kind of drill down to, okay, so you want to do audiobooks? I have a friend who is into storytelling. Let me link you two up, and let's see, kind of what comes of that. And so that's
Mhm.
really where it all started for me, meeting this wonderful, dynamic woman, Tracy, who was a storyteller in Brooklyn. So we come full
Mhm.
circle back to the dance party.
Back to
Mhm.
it.
And she made a suggestion of something local to me in lieu of going to New York. And I was really nervous. I went on the website for the Westport Library, and I look it up, and like it's this themed event. Like you have to come up with something about like I think the first story may have been betrayal, which seemed really like overwhelming. Like what do you tell and what do you do? And so and now I'm gonna get up in front of an audience, and I'd never been there, and like now I'm like tapping and having like a panic attack about it. And then you have to
Aw.
write a story that goes along with that theme. And so I do it, and I get introduced, and it's my first time, and I stand up in front of an audience of maybe 40. And this was really overwhelming for a person who does
Wow.
not like to be center of attention.
That's
Yeah.
deep end of the pool right there for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I jumped.
Mm.
Um and
Awesome.
and I swam. Thankfully.
That's awesome. Yay. Go,
Yay.
Jeanette.
Thank
Spirit
you.
fingers for you.
Thank you.
But
Uh,
see how many connections it took to get from A to B, it's all about those little steps. I so believe about that we should say the things we want to happen in
yes.
life so that,
Yes.
it starts to happen.
And that's 100% correct, Mary. And the funny thing is, Lauren said that to me because I tend to play
Ooh.
it close to the vest. And I don't want to say anything because I'm like, what if it goes wrong? What if it doesn't happen? What if I put it out there? And
Mhm.
then I have to explain to people, oh, it didn't happen. So
Yeah.
I didn't want to mention it to anyone. So my girlfriend Lauren is like, throw it out there. And,
Uh-huh.
another friend of mine, same thing, Lisa, like, throw it out there. And once I did, to your point, I started attracting different opportunities and these people like 6 degrees of separation where I know someone who knows someone, and it ended up being this wonderful thing. And I was able to get up there, and though I felt vulnerable, and listen, sharing a personal story about yourself for 5 minutes in front of a bunch of strangers, it doesn't get much more vulnerable than that. And
Yeah.
then
Right.
when it's not your thing,
Totally.
even more so. And I got up and told a really personal story, and about my journey with breast cancer during COVID. And
Mhm.
so the whole thing was betrayal. And I kind of put a little spin on betrayal and just explaining that I felt like my body betrayed me because I was like in the best shape of my life at that time, doing the
Mhm.
best things, all the things, and then ended up with a diagnosis that I hadn't expected. So, just kind of sharing that story and that moment with everyone. And, it's your story, you own it. And as I'm up there, I could see people's faces and people being engaged, and it just got easier. And after the event, when people stopped me to talk to me afterward and told me how it resonated, people have all been touched by, right?
Mhm.
Illnesses, cancer, and just sharing their
Yeah.
personal stories. It just was helpful. And that was what kind of catapulted me in continuing with this, with storytelling, with this wonderful opportunity that I've been given.
So
Cool.
with
I
that
love that.
one, like you pretty much jumped in and you were able to share that story. Did you feel any different about like what that meant for you going forward with sharing additional stories?
Did because again, when you're sharing something is so very personal, it's like you're giving a piece of yourself to people, to, to,
Mhm.
to strangers as you're up there. And
Mhm.
though I enjoyed it and it felt really good, it felt like I found my light, like my light within, right?
Mhm.
I'm like,
Yes.
I I literally felt like I was lit from the inside out when I was up there, even though I was nervous, but I had concerns about continuing to share, you know,
Mm.
personal information or stories. And even when they're just funny little things about your kids, you know, I- it it weighed on me a bit, but you know what? The joy of doing it outweighed my concerns, so I continued to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
That
so great to hear that. And you know what? Like when you said you're like the person that hides behind you're in a hat or in the back or something like that. I did not get that impression of you at all when we were there because your light was shining so bright. And so I
Thank
just
you.
like to share other perspectives because we can, see ourselves in one way.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's
mhm.
important to see how other people see us too.
And to
I
come back to
appreciate
that
that.
point where
Mhm.
you're saying you're looking out at the audience and you're seeing their aha moments, you're seeing them connect, you're seeing the empathy or and how they're listening and really absorbing what you're saying, understanding that your experience is your own experience, but your story it like and like much what we're trying to do or what we do with this podcast is going someone else out there shares some strand or thread of
Yeah.
that story with you. So your story isn't just yours at that point. You are
Yeah.
sharing you're inviting other people to join you and to add their own pages and their own prose to the mix. And that's a really encouraging, brave, and beautiful thing to share with other people.
Thank you.
So
And you don't realize how it affects others, but you are affecting others and you're helping others in a way that you didn't even realize, like with your podcast, when you're talking about things that connect with other individuals who are like, oh, I've been through that too, or I didn't know someone else experienced that. And it's kind of empowering when you realize that you're able to do that and build those connections.
mhm.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, that's what the human experience is about, right? Like
Yes.
sharing your stories and finding those connections.
Yeah. And so
Absolutely.
so that's a perfect and beautiful segue into a very big story that Tanette that you have shared with us. Um, and we'd love for you to share with the rest of the audience about someone who has had an indelible impact on you. Basically, an earthly angel that you had shared the story. And I really feel that. And I've elevated something similar in the past episode that I still carry with me for someone. We would love to open it up for you to tell us about your experience.
Absolutely. So I recently had the opportunity to tell a story with a story group, the Mutu storytellers, and the theme was about allyship, whether or not you were an ally or experiencing someone being an ally. And I shared a story of how when I was 16 in high school, we unfortunately lost our home to a fire. And we lost everything because what the fire didn't damage, water did when, the brave firefighters are going in and putting everything out. And it was just, as you can imagine, incredibly traumatic coming home and seeing your home in flames and the neighborhood all watching and realizing that everything that you own from like your pictures to your your favorite sneakers or your sticker album or whatever your trophies, your
Yeah.
your holiday ornaments, just everything that you've ever owned is gone. And literally, the only thing that I owned at that moment was on my back. And
Mhm.
at that time, I'm totally gonna like put it out there and throw it out there and say I'm totally gonna put it out there. And at that time, there were no cell phones. So, okay.
Yes.
We
Yeah,
remember
we
that
talk about
time,
that. We were
don't worry.
I was like,
Yes.
so when you said photos, I was like, no digital backups, folks.
No,
This
yes,
is back in the day.
exactly. Back
Yeah.
in the day. So there was no way to connect with one another. And I have 6 other siblings and my mom, and I had no idea where anyone was at 16 and no way to reach anyone as I'm
To know if
watching this
anyone was
happen.
in the house. Oh, goodness. 16-year-old
Think,
Tennette, I'm
yes.
hugging you right now.
Thank you. Thankfully, I had information from my eldest brother who called me at work. So I knew that the only 2 siblings that were home at the time were able to get out safely. I just had no way to connect with anyone and know where anyone was or, get a hold of my mom at the time because she was at work or maybe in transit. I don't even remember now kind of where
Yeah.
she was. So I ended up calling my best friend on a payphone and her parents said that I could stay with them. And at this point, still no contact with anyone. And the next day went to school. And my mother, knowing that I would go to school, had called the front office. And that's how,
Oh,
we
that
were
was
able to
smart.
connect. And she was able to reach out to siblings based on work and school connections. So we all were like, okay, everyone's okay. And that's great. But we all had no place to live and we were all living with different friends and family at the time. And I had been staying with my friend for a while and you're out where you're welcome. You can only stay for so long at someone's home. So I had to move to a different place and my relative didn't want me in their home during the day when they weren't there. So I had no place to kind of go. And it kind of went from being school, the end of the school year prom season where my friends were like, what happened to your prom dress? To kind of,
Shoot.
and it's funny because when you're 16, that's your concern, that's your
Of
worry.
course,
Meanwhile, I
yeah.
had no home, no clothes, no safety, no security. But again, that's your 16-year-old brain.
Right.
And so then, fast forward summer, I'm staying with a relative and I had to leave the home early in the morning at 6. So I had nowhere to go. So I would go to this local park and this gentleman would sit down and speak with me. And no way was it inappropriate. Like I never at any way felt unsafe. And we would talk about everything from like religion to the world and, me and what my next steps were in life. And for the several weeks that we were out of housing or several weeks that we didn't have a home, we would meet every morning and just talk. And I,
Wow.
got such comfort from this person. And so finally we ended up finding housing and we move in. I go back and he's not there. And I went back several times and I
Wow.
never, ever saw him again. And
No.
yeah, and here's the crazy thing is that I can't tell you what he looked like. I don't remember his name. I don't remember anything about this person except for like the feeling of comfort. And I'm getting chills right now as I'm
There you
thinking about
go.
that moment.
I've
The
got
feeling of
goosebumps here.
comfort that
Totally.
that I received from this stranger who gave me such a gift during this time of when I really needed it, when I had nowhere to go, nowhere to be, and I'm sitting on a park bench. Um,
Yeah.
and I have to believe that he was, some kind of I- he was an angel. I mean, a
Mhm.
heavenly angel, an earthly angel. I don't know, but I can tell you that I don't know, it's not something that normally happens. It's not the norm, right? And again, never seeing this individual again, no matter how many times I went back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
How
such
did
a
that
beautiful story.
It
Thank
really
you for
is.
sharing that.
Thank
And
you.
how did that have you correlated how your feelings, like everything that you've carried from that, how that has impacted and changed kind of how you approach life? I mean, 16 is a really impressionable time, and especially
Yes.
through such a very large traumatic experience that you experienced.
It gave me strength, right? It taught me that we are resilient and there's so much that we can get through. And also, it taught me that stuff is not important. And my kids will tell you this to this day that I always say to them, they're just things and we can't take
Mhm.
them with us when we go. So
Yeah.
what's really important is family. And whether that whatever version of family that is to anyone, whether it's friends, whether it's our furry family members, whatever that looks like, whether it's our grandparents, what have you,
Yeah.
it's our connections, it's our people, it's our tribe, and that is what's most important because nothing mattered in that situation until I found out that my entire family was safe and we were able to reconnect. And that was like, no matter what happened, the outcome of losing everything, we still had one another, and you can't replace that.
Yeah.
Totally. Oh, that is so well said. I love that you included just everybody, right? Whatever that kind of family community is to you, that's, who your people are. That's who's there. That's time with them, connecting with them. That's the stuff that matters.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
And much like with the storytelling, it's asking, it's the bid for community and connection. So with
100%.
what we're doing here, what you do with your life and how you walked into and you've stepped into the power of storytelling and even exposing your own vulnerability, there's all of these foundational, stepping stones that gave you strength in these very prolific moments that make you the person that you are today to be able to come and join us on a podcast even if
Absolutely.
at first it was a little bit anxiety
Right. It's a
inducing.
journey, right? It's a
It sure
journey.
is. Yeah.
totally.
So
Everything
yeah.
is a journey.
Everything is. And you're right. It makes you who you are, right? They might be
Mhm.
tough experiences. We may have challenges in life, but this is what helps us grow and become the human that we are at this moment.
Yeah.
Totally. Oh, I love finding like-minded people. It's so lovely. I
I feel
What is
think
the
that?
that's
same
just why I
way.
talk to everyone, regardless of where I'm at. Just
And
because
see
yeah,
that as fearless, Mary. Like I really do see that as this like fearlessness that you carry, like this super confidence that you always exude. So,
oh, they're so
Tonight, we love
sweet.
up on each
I
other
don't
a
feel like
lot
that on
on the
the
I love
podcast.
inside.
And
that.
like,
And we need to do more of that. Like everyone needs to
Totally.
do more of that. I love that. And
Yeah.
it's so funny that you say that, Mary, though, because like pre like COVID, I used to go to work and like, would tell my coworkers, oh my gosh, like all these stories of like strangers that would come up to me and talk to me and tell me like personal things and things I wanted no. Like I'd be like, la 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 la, I have I want no no part of this. There you go.
Yeah.
I want no part of this, no part of this information is how I would feel. And I would tell these stories. And it's funny because it's a precursor, right? Because I didn't even realize it. And I would come to work telling these stories. And I'm like, someday I'm going to write a book. And like they would laugh with all my stories. And it was like literally insane with the things that information I would get. And then after COVID, fast forward me, like our company ended up selling the building. So we're now working from home. So now I'm remote after 20 years of working in a building full of people. And
Oh,
now I'm
that's hard.
craving attention. Yes. So like I found myself at the grocery store being like, how do you know when this is right? And oh, excuse me, like, does your cart do this too? And just like,
oh,
We talk
I'm
about talking to people in the grocery store all the
yes,
time.
I,
It's like gonna be its own segment.
it
what
was
if a
so
grocery store
bad.
is the universal central hub for everything? I mean, and we're just
Yes.
not really accepting it.
No,
I think
right?
it's true.
Well, then for
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
first time, though, it dawned on me those people were lonely. And
Mhm.
you know what? That was my gift that I was given because people had a level of comfort to come to me and to speak to me. Like something about me said, "Hey, tell me about, your journey with X or Y." And even though I was not comfortable with it, they were. And now I kind of flip the switch, so to speak, where I finally had an understanding and I became accepting of it. So now when I'm out and about and people share, I listen and, I take a moment to just, empathize or whatever it is that they need. And
Mhm.
I look at it, in a different light now that I have a better understanding and I'm no longer accosting people in the grocery store about ripe fruit.
I'm still doing that, let's be honest, come on. I'm like, "Oh, you're also getting that? Don't you love that? Blah, 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 blah."
I did that to somebody with yogurt. And like I honestly did, and I was told nobody wants to have my opinion on a particular yogurt. Not from that person, but somebody who knew me. It's okay. It's okay. It was a loving jest. It wasn't it
Yes.
wasn't the
I was
person
going to say,
themselves. I've
I'll
been
take
like,
your
well,
yogurt
you know what?
opinion.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Be like, and I will tell anybody that cottage cheese is a perfect protein, and that is that. So anyway,
Yeah.
there's my grocery store, like enlightenment. There you are. So
Love it. And you can make it ice cream too, cottage cheese, by the way. Throw it in the blender with a little fruit, freeze it. You've got
So
ice cream.
Really?
Yeah.
so
Oh, I've always
quick.
wanted to make those things in the oven where people put them in the oven with like everything bagel seasoning and they become crackers. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah.
Then when? Call
Then
me out.
yeah.
Oh, wait,
Then when
speaking of
recipe
then
edition.
when. Oh, yeah, totally. Tannette, so like part of our mission is like, doing things we always talk about doing, whether it's like actual things or mindsets or whatever, right? And so last episode, Serena shared that she was almost done with her Lego flowers.
Ooh.
And I'm wondering if we could get an update on your then when.
Guys, I have finished them.
Oh,
They are all done. Oh,
they're
hold on. There you are.
beautiful. If you're listening
That-
to us auditorily, Serena's Lego flowers are absolutely beautiful.
There's
They're
the ASMR.
gorge. Absolutely
the-
gorge.
I love how the pink one is little boat paddles. And the yellow
Yeah,
one too.
the yellow
Oh my
one's
Stinking
gosh.
cute.
Yeah.
There's been super cute like ideas in here. Like this one right here is all Napoleon, like French Revolutionary
Pirate hats.
The side, I guess it's pirate hats, right? I thought
I love
Napoleon
it.
because I'm
Yeah,
giving out
Napoleon
all the love
hats.
for my short kings out there.
Love, love, love. That takes
So
patience. I'm totally impressed.
thanks.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
she had wanted to do it. It was one of those things where on the podcast, she committed to putting together this Lego bouquet that she had sitting on her shelf for a while. And sometimes we do that kind of stuff too, is we'll like say something that we want to do
Mhm.
just
Love
to kind
that.
of hold ourselves accountable.
Love it.
Do you have a then when, Tannette, that you have
Hmm.
been meaning to do, whether it's been like, I know I'm just putting you on the spot
No,
here,
I was
but
kidding.
you don't have to share, but like whether it's you want to just do something, like sometimes I feel like I just think about something that I have to do and it's so easy to put that kind of stuff off. And then sometimes I'm in my own head being like, then when am I ever going to do this? Guess what, people? The time is now. I'm doing it right now because future me is going to be so happy that in that moment I did that for us.
Love
Yeah,
that.
past me
Love
is
that.
super thrilled at the pretty little flowers I have
It's
in my room
really
now that I
pretty.
won't kill.
Yes.
So,
And they won't
yay.
die. Even
That's
better.
right.
I know. It's the best. You don't have to worry
Yes.
about them.
So gardening, to your point with the beautiful
Mhm.
flowers, like a friend of mine got me started during COVID. It was just something to do to get my hands in the dirt and just get outside. And so I was like, okay, I'm really going to commit to this. And so not a problem.
How
And
could you
it's-
have a problem with gardening?
I
It is
know.
so, well, because one,
You have
I
too
do
many
plant-
flowers?
I do. So that's the
Oh,
problem.
get
So
out of here.
I do plant things from seed, but I also buy things,
Ooh.
right? And so now, like, I decided I wanted to create areas in my yard. So I have a peony area and a hydrangea and a rose area, right? And then I
Wow.
decided,
Please share pictures.
Well, I will, I
please,
will.
For
Totally.
inspiration.
I
Put that
will,
on
of
our
course.
Discord. That
Of
would be
Yeah,
so
join
fun.
the Discord, Tannette. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I will do that. But then I wanted to move into food, right? But I wanted, so I'm like, okay, so I'm going to start small and I'm going to just start with like herbs to make it easier. And I've got my little garden going and there are things growing. So I'm so excited.
Yay! That's
but-
awesome.
Yes, but my husband's trying to reel me in. He's like, you're one plant away from I don't know what, but you gotta reel
Crazy
it in.
plant lady
Yeah.
is totally okay moniker
Right?
to have. It's
Yes,
all good.
I'm like,
totally.
there
What
are
he
worse
doesn't
things.
want? Yeah, he doesn't want fresh mint and basil and
Right?
thyme. Come on, get out of here.
Exactly. The food he's all about, but he's like, oh my gosh, do you need one more flower? And I'm like, yes, I do. And there are worse
Totally.
habits a person can have, right?
Mhm.
Totally,
Flowers
absolutely.
now, right?
They make me
yeah.
happy and smile.
Yes,
Beautiful.
I love that. That's
Do you try to-
awesome.
Do you try to encourage him to do something like, like if and granted, I don't want you to feel like you have to like air out all of his stuff, but do you like encourage him when he has something that he's like, I don't know if I should do this or not?
So I do, and I should say, as I'm teasing him, he does say that to me, but he totally does support me, and he's the first
Totally.
one digging holes for me outside as well.
Aw,
When I
that's
purchased,
nice.
6 new plants, he is out there digging the holes along with me, and he loves how it
Mm.
looks. So, but he just teases me.
Uh,
But
Of
yes,
green flag
course.
partner, everyone.
yeah,
Green
yes.
flag partner.
So, yeah, he loves, you know, coaching and that's his thing and just kind of going to his games and supporting that is my way of doing it because I typically have no idea what's going on when it comes to sports. I'm
Hmm.
like, wait, are we offense or defense?
Aw,
We'll take
that's so
it.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds super encouraging and bi-directionally. And so that kind of leads us into one new segment that we work with here is we've talked about trying it on, honestly. So I got outed by somebody who encourages people to just try things on
Hmm.
from a retreat, and I was like, you know what? That's true. Like I will sit there and go, like, you need to have a good reason why you don't want to try this. So yeah, so it's the try it on segment, and um, from your perspective, and if you were to essentially reach out to our listeners and kind of put the call to action out there, what one small thing that they should try this week around vulnerability and storytelling that's not, no high stakes thing necessarily or high commitment, but what would it be that you would encourage in our audience?
I would say if you're out and about at a grocery store or wherever you are, say hello to someone and smile.
All
Just be
right.
friendly because you never know what something so simple, how impactful something that simple can be for someone else and what they're going through.
Yeah.
Totally. I was
Yeah.
thinking the same thing. It's so weird when people's brains synergize like that.
We were meant
It's
to
so
meet.
cool. We were totally meant to meet. I love that. Yeah, honestly, it is a simple smile. I know that when I do that to people, and I don't always chat everyone's ear off, but when I do that to people, you can see their demeanor change. And when people
Yes,
do that to me, my demeanor changes too.
Mhm.
And
absolutely.
so it's a little nicety that we can share with each other non-verbally.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
go-to response is, "You can see me?" So I'm just gonna
I love that.
So
And then
She's my
just
little pocket gnome.
I love it. And then just kindness, just taking a moment to be kind because sometimes it's so easy to be a little judgy when we're out and about where there's like a pumpkin that's crying in the store and or on the
Mhm.
plane and perhaps it's annoying, but it's kind of difficult for the parent that's going through that too. Like nobody wants to have the kid that's screaming in the middle of the store,
Yes.
you know?
Mhm.
And so like just that moment of like you ladies do such a great job of supporting one another, just being a human and supporting one another sometimes. Yeah, I just think we've all kind of been there in these certain phases with certain things and just be a support or a help to someone instead of jumping to that like judgy or like, this is annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
love
a
that. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And thank you for sharing your time with us today. It was so
Yes.
Appreciate
lovely to
it.
have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so grateful and I did it.
Yay, you
I-
did! And if there's anything you wanna share or promote with the audience, please, feel free, we're, like, opening the floor for you, and if there's anything we can also add into the show notes too for everybody to kinda direct them somewhere, so you have anything?
So I don't have anything up and coming for myself as of yet, but I definitely will share it with you at a later date if that's okay. And
Yeah.
just
Totally.
I'm going to try to keep kind of growing and learning. I'm enjoying this. I want to eventually compete in New York at something called the Moth, which is pretty
Oh, I love the
incredible.
The
moth.
moth.
Hello.
Yeah, so that is my
Yes.
goal. I'm working towards that. And I right now I'm
Nice.
taking, Denise Page, who I mentioned, she has courses. I'm taking some courses with her on writing and really kind of honing my craft.
That's
Tennette,
so
you just shared a
awesome.
very big then when with us, and we're gonna hold you
Oh,
accountable.
Yeah.
Yay!
Oh, we'll have a little update with you on that.
Yes. So
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
perfect.
sharing that.
Thank
I
you,
was
thank you.
totally getting moth vibes from you, but
Oh,
I
thank
forgot to
you.
mention that before. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you're already
And
50% there. Like, check
thank
it.
you. I've got
You got
I
it.
need to put my brave button on and just do it.
All right.
Yes.
So
Awesome. I can't wait to see you at a moth show in the future for sure.
thank you.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for having me and for the encouragement. I really appreciate it.
Tennette,
Yeah,
it's been an absolute
absolutely.
pleasure. Absolute. So thank you for your
Pleasure's all
time. So,
mine. Thank you
all
both.
right.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay,
Thank
everyone, until
you.
Yeah.
when?
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
Tennette.
Bye. Have a
See
good
ya.
day.
So, how amazing was Tennette? And it was such a really great compliment to the conversation we had last week about finding your voice and expressing yourself.
Yes, totally. Tannette is so great. It was so great to hear her experiences and her stories. The thing that resonated with me was her storytelling, just how we all share each other's stories and hold that space for one another. And that's how we build connections and that's how we find our people.
Right. And like how you build upon a story too, because I mean that can lead you into what's the next chapter and who is going to be showing up as a character or adding their own page to it. And Mary, honestly, bang on with your internal compass and what has pulled you. You find and you connect. I think that's just your vibration and your resonance of yourself. So don't underplay that because it's really important. You listen to that, you follow it, it's apparent, and everybody is better for it and better for knowing
Thank
you too.
you.
So
And
yeah.
continue following your belly button wherever it takes you.
I know. I'll be like, if I'm gonna shimmy and shake, I'll be like, okay. So,
Do it.
but yeah, I
And
love
we
following the belly
encourage
button.
all of you to do that also, try it on. Like Tanette said, maybe smile at someone when you're
Hmm.
out or say hi to somebody if you're feeling brave enough.
Yeah,
It,
just or even like toss a nice little wave and a smile to someone too, if you're a little bit more body expressive. So, yeah,
yes, 3 different ways, connect with your community, connect with others, share your experiences. That's
absolutely.
what it's about. Thank
Yeah,
you guys so much for
thank
sharing
you.
your experience here with us today. We're so glad to have you on the podcast. Make sure to follow us on all our socials, join our Discord so you can see Tannette's beautiful garden.
Be part of the conversation. Share your garden too. Any tips out there? I sure could use some. I'm about to venture out and create a courtyard. So,
Yes, I'll
yeah.
share some pictures of my garden too. We'll just be a bunch of garden gnomes together.
Yay! That makes my heart happy. So,
Oh, my little gnome.
oh, well, thanks everyone. Thanks for listening. Thank you for your time as always. And we will catch you
On the
later.
flip. Then
Until
when, people?
when?
Until when? Damn it, one of these days I'll get it.
I still
Until
love
when,
it.
people? Peace.
Mwah. So that's it for today's episode of Then When. Honestly, we could talk about this stuff forever, but we know you've probably got things to do, or at least a very long list of things you're thinking about doing.
It's been a blast, but before we head out, we want to hear from you. We're looking for your then and your when.
Exactly. If you've got a recent win you're proud of, that's your then. Or if there's a back burner dream item you've been putting off, that's your when.
Whether it's a total triumph or help, I'm procrastinating, we want to share your stories on the show.
Seriously, come say hi. You can DM us at thenwhenpod or shoot us an email. We can't wait to hear what you're working on.
Until next time, take care of yourself. We'll catch you on the flip.